I touched my cheek, the ghost of that slap still burning, as I watched Marcus polish the brass nameplate on my office door. Catherine Thompson, CEO and chairwoman. Behind him, Ashley, no longer an intern but now a junior accountant, hurried past with her eyes fixed on the floor, clutching quarterly reports that needed my signature. But let me take you back 6 months, to the day everything changed. It was the annual Thompson Industries board meeting, and Marcus was doing what he did best, taking credit for other people's work. I sat quietly, as I had for 15 years of marriage, while he presented the innovative logistics system I had developed as his breakthrough initiative. And that's why our efficiency is up 40%, he boasted, winking at Ashley, who sat in a corner taking notes. She'd been his personal intern for 3 months, though everyone knew what that really meant. Sometimes you need a strong hand to guide a company forward. I cleared my throat. The implementation numbers need revision. There's a discrepancy in the third quarter projections. The room fell silent. I had never contradicted Marcus in meetings. It was our unspoken arrangement. He played the powerful CEO, and I quietly kept the company from collapsing under his incompetence. Catherine, he said, his voice dangerously soft, I'm sure you're confused about the numbers. Why don't you let the real executives handle this? Ashley giggled from her corner, and something in me snapped. 15 years of silence cracked. The projections are wrong, I repeated, standing, and if we present these numbers to the shareholders, we'll be committing fraud. Marcus's face turned red. You dare question me? In front of my board? Your board? I pulled out my tablet. Maybe we should review the actual ownership structure of Thompson Industries. What happened next unfolded in slow motion. Marcus crossed the room in 3 strides, his hand raised. I saw Ashley smirk, the board members' shocked faces, and then, crack. His palm connected with my cheek, the sound echoing off the mahogany walls. Know your place, he snarled as Ashley covered her mouth in false shock, her eyes dancing with amusement. This is my company, my family's legacy. I touched my cheek, tasting blood where my lip had split. The boardroom remained frozen, everyone waiting to see what would happen next. You're right, Marcus, I said quietly, reaching into my briefcase. Let's talk about the Thompson legacy. I pulled out a thick folder, documents I had kept hidden for 15 years, waiting for exactly this moment. Your father's last will and testament. I placed it on the table, the one you never actually read. Would you like to know what it says? Marcus scoffed. I know what it says. He left me everything. The company, the holdings, the family fortune. No, I opened the folder. He left everything to the first Thompson to achieve 5 consecutive years of company growth, which happened in 2018. I smiled, my split lips stinging. Under my leadership, while you were taking 3-hour lunches with interns. The color drained from his face. You're lying. Am I? I gestured to our corporate counsel. James, would you please confirm the succession clause? James, who had been waiting 15 years to reveal this, stood. Mrs. Thompson is correct. She has been the legal majority owner of Thompson Industries since 2018. Mr. Thompson's position as CEO has been at her discretion. Ashley's smirk vanished as she frantically began typing on her phone, probably searching for the company's true ownership structure. That's impossible, Marcus stammered. My father would never. Your father knew exactly what he was doing, I cut in. He watched you party through business school while I earned my MBA with honors. He saw you take credit for my work year after year. The succession clause wasn't about inheritance, it was about earning the Thompson name. I pulled out another document, and since you've just committed workplace violence in front of the entire board, I think it's time to exercise my majority shareholder rights. Marcus lunged for the papers, but security, my security, was already there. You can't do this, he shouted. Anna Thompson. So am I reminded him, pointing to my swollen cheek, and I earned it the hard way. Ashley stood, smoothing her skirt. Marcus, surely we can. Miss Cooper, I turned to her, please collect your things. Your internship is terminated, effective immediately. Though I'm sure you'll find an interesting story for your social media followers once your NDA expires. The boardroom erupted into chaos as security escorted Marcus out, his threats echoing down the hallway. Ashley scurried after them, her designer heels clacking on the marble floors. I turned to the stunned board members. Now, shall we review those real quarterly numbers? 3 months later, I sat in what used to be Marcus's office, now redesigned to reflect actual productivity rather than false prestige, reviewing the latest performance reports. The company's stock had jumped 30% since the leadership transition, as the press politely called Marcus's very public removal. Mom? My daughter Rachel appeared in the doorway, fresh from her MBA program. You need to see Ashley's latest LinkedIn post. I clicked the link. There was Ashley, now working as a junior assistant at a small local firm, sharing an inspiring post about workplace ethics and respect. The irony wasn't lost on anyone who had witnessed her previous behavior. Speaking of inspiration, Rachel smirked. Dad's application for the night maintenance position just came through HR. Apparently, his consulting firm isn't doing so well. After the boardroom incident, Marcus had tried to launch his own business, banking on the Thompson name. But it turned out that without me quietly fixing his mistakes, his true business acumen became embarrassingly apparent. Mrs. Thompson, my assistant entered with a stack of documents. The divorce settlement is ready for your review. And Mr. Thompson, well, he's in the lobby again. Let me guess, another demand to negotiate? I touched my cheek, the faint scar, a permanent reminder of why negotiations were over. Actually, Rachel checked her phone. He's here about the job application. All his assets are frozen in the fraud investigation, and apparently his new apartment doesn't accept late rent. I pulled up the security feed. There was Marcus in an off-the-rack suit that had replaced his former bespoke wardrobe, shifting nervously in the lobby. Gone was the arrogant man who thought he could slap his way to dominance. Send him up, I decided. Rachel, would you like to sit in on this interview? Minutes later, Marcus entered my office, his eyes widening at the changes. All his dark wood and leather, meant to intimidate, had been replaced with clean lines and clear glass. Transparency, after all, was our new corporate policy. Catherine, he started, then corrected himself. Mrs. Thompson. I know this is awkward. Is it? I gestured to a chair, not the power seats he had once used, but a standard office chair. I think it's rather straightforward. You're applying for a position as night maintenance staff. This is ridiculous, he muttered. I used to own this company. No, Rachel interjected. You used to pretend to own this company. There's a difference. I pulled up his application on my screen. Let's review your qualifications. 15 years as CEO. Though our audit shows you actually performed about 3 hours of real work per week. Multiple strategic initiatives, all of which were actually developed by other people. Interesting resume. You know I'm qualified for more than cleaning offices, he protested. Do I? I turned my screen to show him the company's performance charts. Revenue is up 40% since your departure. Employee satisfaction has doubled. Even our social media engagement has improved. Though that might be because Ashley's not posting luxury lunch photos on company time anymore. Marcus flinched at Ashley's name. She had tried to stick with him after his downfall. Right until his credit cards started declining at her favorite restaurants. I have expenses, he said quietly. The legal fees, the new apartment. I can't even access my own bank accounts because of the fraud investigation. You mean my bank accounts, I corrected. The ones you used to fund your affair with an intern while telling me I didn't understand complex financial matters. Rachel shuffled through his paperwork. The night maintenance position pays $15 an hour. Hours are 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. You'll report to our facilities manager. You remember Jerry, right? The one you used to mock for being just a janitor at board meetings. Marcus's face reddened. This is humiliating. More humiliating than slapping your wife in front of the board? I touched my scar again. More humiliating than watching Ashley post photos with her new boyfriend while you scrubbed toilets? I said I was sorry about that. No, I cut him off. You said you were sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I pulled out his employment contract. The position is yours if you want it. But understand this, one mistake, one moment of disrespect to any employee and you're out. No severance, no references, no safety net. He stared at the contract, the reality of his situation finally sinking in. And if I refuse? Then you can explain to the fraud investigators how you plan to pay restitution without an income. I smiled. I hear they're particularly interested in those offshore accounts you thought I didn't know about. 6 months after Marcus started his new role as night janitor, I worked late reviewing our latest expansion plans. Through my office windows, I could see him emptying trash bins, his designer watch replaced by a plastic timepiece that could withstand cleaning chemicals. "Mom," Rachel called from the doorway. "You'll never believe what Ashley just posted." I checked the link, a tearful My Truth video about toxic workplace relationships and learning from mistakes. The comments section was filled with former Thompson Industries employees sharing their own stories about Marcus and his former intern. Speaking of mistakes, Rachel grinned. "Did you see Dad's latest performance review?" Jerry, our facilities manager, had written a detailed report about Marcus's cleaning skills. Struggles with basic toilet maintenance. Seems to think monitoring security cameras is beneath him. Recommended for additional training and proper floor waxing techniques. My phone buzzed with a message from Marcus. "Can we talk? About everything?" I never realized. Before I could respond, Rachel showed me the break room security feed. There was Marcus, the man who once commanded boardrooms, being taught how to properly dilute cleaning solutions by the same maintenance staff he used to ignore. "Mr. Thompson," Jerry's voice was professionally stern, "that's the third time you've mixed the chemicals wrong. This isn't like running a company. You can't just fake your way through it." I never faked. Marcus started, then stopped, watching his reflection in the window he was supposed to be cleaning. In the glass, he could probably see the ghost of his former self. The man who thought power came from intimidation rather than competence. My assistant entered with acquisition reports. "Mrs. Thompson." The London office sent over their projections, and Mr. Thompson's request for a shift change was denied. Apparently, his new supervisor doesn't appreciate tardiness. I glanced at the security feed again. Marcus was now scrubbing the very boardroom floor where he had once thought a slap would assert his dominance. Every night, he had to polish the table where he'd lost everything, clean the windows that had witnessed his downfall. He asked about bonus structures. Rachel mentioned reviewing the maintenance department reports. Jerry told him to focus on mastering window cleaner first. My phone lit up with another notification. The company's stock had hit another record high. The same business Marcus claimed would collapse without his strong leadership was thriving under actual competence. "Mrs. Thompson." My assistant reappeared. "Ashley's lawyer called. She's requesting a reference for her job applications. Apparently, her social media influence isn't paying the bills anymore." "Tell her to ask her former mentor," I smiled. "I'm sure the night janitor would be happy to vouch for her skills." After all, success isn't just about rising to the top. Sometimes it's about watching others realize why they fell. And as I watched Marcus methodically clean my office windows each night, I thought about all the powerful men being propped up by competent women, all the slaps that never should have landed, all the quiet strength waiting for its moment. My phone buzzed one final time, a message from Jerry. He finally learned how to properly mop a floor. Maybe there's hope yet. "There is," I typed back. "Some lessons just need to be taught at ground level. And sometimes the best revenge isn't in the punishment. It's in the education. Even if the lessons come with a mop and bucket instead of a corner office and a company car. After all, some respect can't be demanded or enforced. It has to be earned. One clean floor at a time."